Hey, what's up everybody? It is the last day of 2016, and to end the year I wanted to do a quick video of some helpful tips on how to purchase your first guitar, whether that's for yourself or for a child. Just some helpful tips that I've picked up over the years, and yeah, but I had to do some adult stuff first. Vacuuming, grocery shopping, clean up the house before my parents come into town to celebrate. But anyway, so I'm just running around, but let's do this thing. Shh, don't tell my sister. She manages a coffee shop. I have a gray in my beard. Look at it. Look at it! Alright, so when you're going to buy your first guitar, one of the things to keep in mind is your budget, obviously. You're going to want to know how much you're willing to spend. I usually say plan on that and then expect to pay more. It's pretty much what happens every time I walk into a guitar store. What I would recommend is also learning a few chords before you go to the store. You don't have to know a lot of chords, just something so that you're used to holding a guitar neck. If you're able to borrow a guitar from a friend or maybe have someone show you a couple of chords, that's really the best way to go. I mean, hey, AC/DC made a career out of pretty much 3 chords. I would say look for guitars that inspire you. You want to look for guitars that you're going to want to play, both the feel of it and the way they look. Now you're also going to want to think, what kind of music do I listen to? If you maybe play or want to play more blues stuff, as a general rule, you're probably going to want something with like a single coil, as a general rule. If you like more rock music, you're probably going to want something with humbuckers, which is these guys. Like I said, single coil is these guys. One of the things I love about music is there's really no right or wrong. It's a general rule that's something you want, but hey, you don't have to. You can still play blues music on humbuckers. You know, it's just different sounds and your personal preference. One of the things you're going to want to keep in mind when you're seeing things like the expensive Paul Reed Smiths and Gibsons and Fender custom shops and things like that is, yes, they are higher quality than the overseas models that you may be looking at to start with. So you're not just paying for the quality increase, but you're paying for consistency. Those guitars have a lot more love put into them. They're going to be consistent from guitar to guitar to guitar. Now, when you're looking at cheaper models, they probably don't have as much attention put into all the details. So when you're looking at some of those guitars, I always recommend if you find a guitar that speaks to you and you love the way it looks, you like the way it sounds, try 3 or 4 of the same exact model. Because when you're looking at a more budget instrument, you might find that one that is just amazing and it came from that right piece of wood from the tree and the person that day had rolled the frets just right and everything about it is great. So I've played guitars that were $299 that played better than some of the $3,000 guitars that I pulled off the shelf. This doesn't always happen, but sometimes you get lucky. That's how I felt about this guitar. This was my very first guitar that my dad bought me. And I love this guitar. I still love this guitar. I think it was $299. Check Your Diamond Series Omen 6. I mean, I have put thousands of hours into this guitar. I've been in a car accident with this guitar and walked away with me and my guitar and my car was totaled and I still went and played the show. But I mean, this guitar is a great guitar. It plays great. It's lightning fast. It feels good. Not as good sound quality as my custom Warrior now, and yeah, this is an amazing guitar. I mean, it's night and day different. This is handmade, made for me, but still, at the end of the day, this was a great guitar and it served me well for many years. So don't be afraid to try 2 or 3 of the same exact guitar and see if one just feels better to you. Because there's going to be one that just is like, that's the one, and you're going to know it. So getting back to some of the more budget guitars, this is definitely a budget guitar. I think I paid $89 at a store that was going out of business for this. I bought it just to kind of beat on and have some fun with. And it's a cheap Fender Squier, but it's actually a pretty decent guitar. It sounds pretty decent, it plays pretty good. But with a budget guitar, like I said, there's going to be things that don't have the attention to detail. The edges right here, there's what we call fret overhang, so it feels rather sharp when you're playing and it can actually cut your finger a little bit. That can be fixed, but like I said, those are things to pay attention to. Look at the action. Is the action, the string too far from the fret? You know, how does it feel in your hand? Is it nice and close, or are you having to work really hard to press those down? If you're thinking about acoustic versus electric, there's pros and cons to both. When you buy electric, you're going to need things like an amp, but those are things you can build over time. You can still play a guitar that's electric and still hear it, you can still practice. You can buy a cheap little $20 amp just to get started and then upgrade. A lot of people think they want to go acoustic, which I love acoustic, but they can be more difficult to play, especially for young children just starting out, because the action is typically a little bit higher, they're a little bit bulkier and hard to kind of move around and get your arm around, especially if you're just starting out. But if you're really wanting to get into acoustic, then go acoustic. You've got to do what is going to make you want to go and pick up that guitar every single day and just have fun with it. So I hope some of these tips helped you out. Just remember, there's no right or wrong way to do things. It's all about what feels right to you, what sounds right to you, what looks good to you, and it's really your personal preference. So remember, know your budget. Go and try all the guitars you possibly can, even if it's a couple of the same guitar, because like I said, not everyone's going to play the same, and then you'll find the one that speaks to you, and most importantly, have fun with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'm going to leave you with a message from somebody else. So if this video was helpful,
don't forget to subscribe.
How can you say no to my mother? You guys keep rocking. And by the way, you guys have an amazing 2017. I'm so excited about some of the things that are going to be coming up on this channel and just some of the things I'm getting to work on the new year. So you guys have a great 2017, and I'm going to go celebrate with my family now. See you later.